Hey everyone, my name is Randy and this is my first video on YouTube. We are going to be playing Kyle is Famous today. I've already started playing a little bit of it just to see what it was about, and it seems like it's kind of interesting. So let's get started. Kyle wakes up, he is famous. Kyle is, Kyle is host of, okay, I guess you could say that. Kyle is host of the most popular talk show in recent memory, Stay Up Late with Kyle. Stay Up Late with Kyle has grown in popularity quickly. In the last year, and the public has, excuse me. Stay Up Late with Kyle has grown in popularity quickly in the last year, and the public has noticed. Inside has called Kyle a most excellent dumpy white man. Top Tech noted that Kyle is inspiring youth to explore STEM fields. Most other talk shows are dedicated to discussing Kyle and his personal details. Most online videos are best of clips taken from Kyle's latest broadcast. The eye of the world is upon Kyle. Tonight is Kyle's most important guest interview yet. Stay Up Late with Kyle will be featuring Rachel May. She is a kind and lovely philanthropist. She is dear to many hearts. She is dear to the hearts of many, of course. This interview requires preparation. Kyle cracked his eyes open, knowing today is the last chance to prepare for the interview. Kyle has 30 hours left. He must choose his actions wisely. So, what I noticed before was that the time until the interview, which with each click, you lose an hour. So they were serious when they said time is ticking. It's serious. So we can choose to exit the bed. Kyle's first decision of the morning was made wisely. Kyle exited his bed and took a quick glance around his bedroom. So let's see. We can scavenge, open the closet, sit at a desk, and exit. Well, maybe it's best to put on some clothes before we leave, just in case. But let's see what scavenging does. Kyle quickly crouched down on the floor, realizing his immediate need for bugs, gossip, and back to bedroom. Okay. Let's see what gossip does, because bugs is weird. Kyle firmly pressed his ear to the carpet. Oh, interesting. Hoping to hear some stray words from the neighbors below. I heard Rachel May is going on a trip out of the country soon. Oh, girlfriend, tell me more. Well, what I will tell you is that every night I don a mask that looks like a bug and fight misdoers. There was a stunned silence, as I just had. Then a door opened and someone exited the neighbor's apartment. That's quite enough. Okay. Well, we can go to the closet. We can choose an outfit or go back to the bedroom. So Kyle opened the closet. It was dark and he could only really see his hanging shirts. Let's choose an outfit. Let's go with, let's see. Well, he decided to take some time to choose the perfect outfit, knowing how important his appearance is. Skunk pasties, jeans, and swimming goggles, a slick suit, or a suit of armor. Skunk pasties. Kyle chose the pasties made out of mashed skunk flesh. Getting the slimy garments to stay proved difficult, so Kyle opted to stick them to his body with hot glue. Good job, Kyle. You did it. Okay, let's leave. Let's leave the apartment. Visit neighbors downstairs. Visit the tech store. Well, he walked into the middle of the road and took a long, pondering look around him. I think we should visit the neighbors and ask them what's up. Kyle approached his downstairs neighbor and knocked on the door. A middle-aged woman named Gabby answers the door. She looked at Kyle expectantly. So does she know we were listening? Greet and start the conversation. 13 hours and we're talking. Good morning, neighbor, said Kyle cheerfully. Gabby looked at Kyle expectantly. Why does she expect so much from us? Ask Gabby about Gabby. Ask Gabby about Rachel. Ask Gabby about being a vigilante. I think we should do that, but what if she's not a vigilante and she's a bad guy and she attacks us? That would be bad. But let's do it anyway. Gabby asked Kyle, "Are you the bug vigilante?" For a moment, Gabby looked stunned, but then she realized his seriousness. Gabby nodded once, then shut the door in Kyle's face. He walked once again to the middle of the road and took a long, pondering look around him. Returned to the apartment. Returned to bedroom. We should sit at the desk. Okay, so we can write notes for the interview. Check the desk drawer. Let's check the desk drawer. Let's not do anything we're supposed to do. We grabbed the key. I knew that was there because I played before. And I want to see what the key does because I actually did not get a chance to see what the key did. We have 2 hours. I don't think we're going to make it. No. No, we're not going to make it. It's a kitchen. Dang. Okay, he hurried to set. All right, sitting across from his host chair was a glamorous woman with an air of genuinity. As Kyle approached her, Rachel looked up and smiled. "Good evening, Kyle," she said, looking him in the eyes. "I've been looking forward to being here." "Well, thanks, Rachel." Kyle responded. "Scream and spin in circles. Answer politely." Well, what would a Kyle do? We all know what Kyles do. We know that one Kyle. He acts like a Kyle. "We're going to scream." Kyle started to stretch his arms out wide, tilted his neck upward, and was interrupted by his producer telling him and Rachel that it was time to start the show. Dang. Start the interview. A moment after seating, the studio lights brightened and the cameras clicked on. We have to gossip about the neighbor because we have no notes. We have nothing. I chose to pick up a key that I couldn't even use to go to the part of the kitchen. We will get there one day. But we have to gossip about our neighbor, which I haven't done this before. I want to gossip about the neighbor because it feels like it will be the right thing to do. As a talk show host, we are going to be Wendy Williams. So we're gossiping. "Good evening, everybody," said Kyle. "My neighbor is a bug vigilante." Wow, she's not going to appreciate this and she might set the whole building on fire. With nothing more to say on the matter, he fell silent. Rachel, also on camera, stared at her hands and wondered when she was going to be introduced. Okay. Sorry, Rachel, but this is more important. The producers started cutting to different camera angles to break the tension. I don't know if that breaks the tension in real life. It might break the tension for the viewers, but Rachel's still looking at her hands, wondering a lot. Kyle continues to remain silent and stare forward blankly. That's weird because I guess he doesn't have any more information about it, so I guess that makes sense. Cool. He could have continued with anything else, but he decided this was it. I'm just going to do that. After several minutes, neighbor Gabby walked out onto set. Makes sense. "Hi, everyone," she said, smiling hollowly. "My name is Gabby, and I'm not a bug vigilante." That would be stupid because bugs don't make sense. If I was going to be a vigilante, I would wear something like... What would you wear? I don't know, because there's Batman, there's all the, so maybe a bug is right. False. Kyle looked at Gabby and then returned to staring forward. So it's like false, like you're Gabby, right? And then he just, "I'm not a bug vigilante." False. Okay, Kyle, I feel the sass. I love it. Gabby began to reply, but was interrupted by a bug-shaped intercom on her belt. Oh, so she is like Batman, but she's Bugman. Cool. "Bug girl, sorry," it squawked. A robbery is in progress on East 3rd. Report immediately. So they know. Somebody knows. Somebody else knows. Gabby threw the intercom on the ground and crushed it under her foot. That's also what I would not do. But if she is Batman and she has a lot of money, there you go. After a beat, she spoke again. "Something has come up suddenly. I must go. I don't know what it was. It has nothing to do with the bug vest or belt or whatever. I have one. Just don't pay attention. It's kind of like the Wizard of Oz. Just don't pay attention to the man behind the curtains. Okay? We're good here. Don't even mention it. Gabby left the set, and Rachel probably should too. Well, said Kyle, that's all the time we have for tonight. Thanks for joining us, Rachel. I'm so glad you got to see the drama firsthand. Kyle got up, shook Rachel's hand again, and walked past the cameras, leaving her alone. Yeah, works for me. Not knowing what else to do, the producer ended the broadcast. Well, he said we were done. It's Kyle's show. So I would assume, yeah, you should just get up and go. In the coming days, fans of both Rachel and Kyle dubbed this show as a masterpiece of television. I mean, yeah, that was pretty dramatic. I loved it. Stay Up Late with Kyle's online pages were updated to reflect his broadcast as the most popular ever. Nice. Kyle's producer later tried to have Rachel on the show again, but she was very, very, very busy, probably being the sidekick to a bug lady. So I unlocked 2 endings because I tried to record this before and the camera cut out. So I'm going to try to get those 2 endings again so you guys can see that. But this is one of 21 endings. And I've gotten 3 so far. So Kyle talked about Gabby. I'm going to reset this. And we've only been recording for 11 minutes. So I think we're going to keep going for a little bit longer. So his first decision, I'm going to try to redo the first 2 ones that I did before we go to the kitchen with the key. So we're going to exit the bedroom. Kyle exited his bed and took a quick glance around his bedroom, opened the closet, selected there, scavenged. I think before I scavenged, he quickly crouched down, but instead of gossiping, I went for bugs because that's a Kyle thing to do. We've already established this. Kyle started to pick between the fuzz of the bedroom carpet, hoping to catch a stray beetle or 2. Yum. Soon, he has a small handful of various insects, dead and alive. Now, don't be in the comments saying that's gross, because other cultures do this, okay? This is something that people do. Yum yum in my tum tum. You don't know nothing about it, but if you do, you know this is the deal, right? I mean, not in my culture. I don't do this, but hey, they might be on this. You never know. They might be onto something. Some beetles. Just don't eat the roaches. That's not. They're dirty. I don't know. Are they? They just come in when your house is dirty. I don't know if they're dirty. Something we should all look up. Let's look that up later, though. Eat immediately. Last time I saved for later use. I don't think it affected anything, but we're going to do it again just so that way we can try to keep the continuity continuous with this. Kyle stashed the wriggling mass for later use, as one should do, every time. Kyle returned to the center of the bedroom. Think I sat at the desk. I wrote some interview notes. I did do that. I went through the whole thing. Like, am I a mother? Is your mother a mother? You know, stupid stuff. But no, we're going to go with, are you a mother? We're going to try to be nice to Rachel. Beef, mashed or blended. I don't know if anyone eats blended beef. But maybe we can do that another time. Maybe we can. Ever eaten a raw egg whole? I feel like that's a good one. I don't know if any of these questions matter. But I feel like ever eating a raw egg whole is a good one. Because that's like an Ellen question. Right? You know, like, have you ever, or never have I ever, eaten an egg raw whole? Or whatever it says. And then you'd be like, no, Ellen, I've never done that. You know, so we're going to try to do some Ellen stuff on here. And then he wrote down his third question. What's your funniest story? Do you ever smile? I purposely ran over a puppy. So unfortunately, I purposely ran over a puppy is not a question. He can write down that as a statement or as a confession. Whatever he wants. I'm not judging. But we might go with, what's your funniest story? Because we're going to try to be nice. You know, you don't want to really ask, like, do you ever smile? I used to be a waitress. People used to do that all the time. What do you mean? Like, oh, smile. Yeah, okay. Give me a tip. Anyways, Kyle wrote down his last question. What's your guilty pleasure? Do you feel guilty? And are you guilty? With 3 question marks. Okay, so what we're going to do, I think, is what's your guilty pleasure? Do you feel guilty is pretty good too. But what's your guilty pleasure? Just to be like, I don't know. Another Ellen question, I feel like. I don't know what Ellen asked. I've never watched, well, I have watched Ellen, not really, but like the little clip it's on YouTube. I was going to say Facebook. I've watched those. They're all right. but 15 minutes, all right. Kyle ripped his page of notes out of the notebook and got up from the desk. So we have, I think we ate bugs for that one. We scavenged. I don't know what that is. I guess it's a bug. Dead bug, probably. And then we ripped off some notes. So we're going to go back to the room, put on some clothes because we cannot be naked for our set. Kyle opened the closet. It was dark. He could only see shirts. Let's go with the suit of armor because I think I picked that before. He took time to pick an outfit because he knew it was important. And the suit of armor will save you from anything. He was unsure of why, but he knew he should. After much sneezing and sweating, Kyle managed to wrap the metal suit around his dumpy self. Oh, does dumpy mean like pudgy? I've never heard anybody say dumpy before. That's interesting. Kyle returned to the center of the room. Let's go to the hallway. I hope I'm doing this right. Turn to the kitchen. So if we check the pantry, it says it has a small keyhole. That's why I was going to do the key before. So I haven't done it yet, but I do. I'm going to open the fridge, eat the crust off the fridge wall, prepare breakfast, eat condiments, or eat the fridge. I don't know how logical eating a fridge or a crust off the side of the fridge would be. Crust off the side of the fridge is gross. Makes me kind of want to gag. But I think if we eat the fridge, can we eat the fridge? I want to see him attempt. Kyle pointed his neck directly upwards and hoisted the fridge on top of his face. Somehow, miraculously, I wouldn't say this is a miracle because this is not necessary. He wrapped his mouth around the device. He started to swallow. It's kind of like a snake. In one slow, horrible movement, I agree, the fridge slid down Kyle's throat. Yum. After many gurgles, pops, and snaps, Kyle felt relatively sure the fridge would not come back out. Well, that's good for him. He walked to the center of the kitchen and he returned to the hallway. Well, let's leave our apartment. We ran out of time, but that's fine. He hurried to the set. Sitting across from the host's chair was a glamorous woman. Kyle approached her. Rachel smiled. Good evening, Kyle, she said, looking at him in the eyes. I've been looking forward to being here. Kyle responded, Oh, no. Answer politely. And I as well, Rachel, answered Kyle, extending his hand and greeting. You are the most welcome guest. Well, it seems to be our first guest that we've had, or our only guest, because this game seems to be about Rachel and Kyle. After another mild exchange of pastries. Ooh, what? Why am I thinking of the kitchen so much? Of pleasantries, Kyle and Rachel were prompted to take their place for the broadcast. A moment after seating, the studio lights brightened and the cameras clicked on. Start. Good evening, everyone, said Kyle, looking at the camera. Welcome back to Stay Up Late with Kyle. Introduce Rachel. Kyle vomited all of those horrible things he had eaten earlier onto the floor. Gross. This didn't happen last time, so this is something new. Rachel looked at Kyle concerned, have a couple of coughs. I remember what I did last time that I didn't do this time. I'm going to do it next time so you can see the outcome of that if this isn't something different. I gave a couple coughs and decided to play it cool and keep the show running. Okay. Kyle stopped, then vomited again, then continued with a shaky voice. Tonight, I have the pleasure of interviewing the lovely Rachel May, who needs no more introduction. Kyle motioned to Rachel, who smiled and waved at the camera. Hello, Kyle, she said. I'm glad to be here. Well, I'm sure we'll hopefully he's a better talker than me. Well, I'm sure we'll have a lot to discuss, so we might as well dive right in, said Kyle. I'm very ready, said Rachel with a winning smile. Kyle produced the notes he had taken earlier. Nice. Well, I just threw up, so I think we should start with, have you ever eaten a raw egg whole? Rachel, have you ever eaten a raw egg whole? Asked Kyle. Like shell and all? Asked Rachel. Well, that's what whole means, okay? Kyle continued. I have Like a lot. It's really bad though, so sometimes I spit it back up. Okay, there was silence. There should be. But actually, it gets easier the more you do it. Continue, Kyle, without losing momentum. So don't start, I say, because if not, you'll get addicted. And you'll get salmonella, so don't do that. Rachel I was willing to say chooses not to. Rachel chose to not answer and look in another direction. Kyle asked another question. I should have asked, am I a mother? Because at this point it's so awkward. That would have been great. What's your guilty pleasure? We all have one. What's your guilty pleasure? Ooh, well, that's easy. I eat raw eggs whole, said Rachel. Just kidding, dipping pickles in chocolate sauce. She would have been way better if she would have said that. It might sound strange, but it's tangy and sweet at the same time. I eat it far too often. Rachel smiled sweetly. I can't read. Kyle asked another question. Are you a mother, Rachel? And I may. What's wrong with me? Rachel, I and many others would love to know. Are you a mother? Kyle looked up from his notes. Well, being a single woman with a career, she answered. That's not something that has crossed my mind. Well, good for you, Rachel. You don't have to have a baby. Rachel smiled genuinely at Kyle. Very reasonable indeed, said Kyle. He referenced his paper of questions. And what is your funniest story? You've been involved in a lot of different things, said Kyle. But what's your funniest story? Well, that's a great question, Kyle, said Rachel. Exclaimed, actually. She yelled it at him. I think the story I always remember is the first time I tried to make a dinner for my family. In the soup I made, I swapped out the water with milk and tipped the whole jar of salt in the pot. Sounds like regular cooking of Rachel. While my family was sick from trying to eat it, I swiped their things and locked myself in the room. Okay. Rachel laughed elegantly. She's so beautiful. I love it. But also, don't laugh at that. Like, we see you. We see through you, Rachel. We know what you just did. You just robbed your family of a good, decent meal. I don't know if it would have been decent, but it was a meal. Nevertheless. Okay, we don't waste food over here. So, gonna have to just live with it. Kyle decided to move on, as one should. After reading his final question, Kyle looked up from his paper. Well, Rachel, he said, I think that's all I was planning on asking you. If that's the case, Kyle, may I ask you something in return? Asked Rachel. Haha, too late. That's already a question. So, why exactly did you decide to wear a suit of armor today? Nice. It hasn't come into play until right now. I've never had the actual interview with Rachel, so. Before Kyle could answer, the camera shut down and the broadcast was over. But it was such a good answer. Kyle returned home knowing the interview had gone well, and she never got her answer. But as he lay in bed and drifted to sleep, he felt that perhaps something was still missing. Kyle prepared very well. Well, I'm glad we got to see that together. Hopefully, I can try to figure out if I could get back to the first two endings that were unlocked that you didn't get to see. But if I do remember one of them, maybe a second one. So I do remember both of them. So maybe in the next episode we can go over that. But thank you all so much for tuning in for my very first video. I am so appreciative, and it will mean a lot to me if you would like to see more. So if you would like to share this video, like and subscribe, I would greatly appreciate that. Thank you again, you guys, and have a great day. Bye.